come back and say it was. I think in this environment, there are people hungry for fair coverage. It's really starting to disappear, and there are only a few places that you can get it, and Fox and Special Report and other programs is one of them.
We'll show the January 6th text a little later from Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity and Brian Kilmeade to Mark Meadows urging them to get Trump to do something to stop the Capitol riot. And again, detractors are free to criticize, but wouldn't the public want these hosts who've interviewed Trump many times, who are mostly sympathetic to Donald Trump, to do whatever they could to get him to halt the violence?
Yes. There was a lot of stir-up that day that we hadn't been covering it. But we did on air. Chad Pergram did from Capitol Hill. I did it on Special Report. And, you know, the big thing was what critics said was the hypocrisy of what they were saying privately on text and what they were saying publicly on their shows. I called all three of them directly and said, what do you say about this? And they said, we stand by everything we've said publicly and privately, and we reported that. You know, sometimes we have to report on things that are in the news that are us, and it really stinks because I'm trying to never be the news and trying to report and cover things fairly. Sometimes it has to be us, and we did it that way this past week.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair approach, and we'll show some of what they said in their defense later. And again, you know, I get it, Fox is fair game. Anybody in the media business is fair game these days, but you're right, it can be uncomfortable being the story. And, you know, same thing goes for, there's a whole lot of Republicans out there who believe Donald Trump's unproven claims, unsubstantiated claims the election was stolen. At this news division, we have reported about the claims and whether there's any evidence based on all the investigations and all the lawsuits and all of that.
And we've been clear. I mean,
yes.
It's not been, there's
no gray area here. Yes.
Yeah.
It was breaking news on my show last week when our colleague Chris Wallace announced he's leaving.